Welcome back, everyone, to the Life Midwest podcast. This is episode 13. I'm your host, Kevin, alongside Wes.
Yo.
This is a podcast where we're just hanging out and giving our Midwestern perspectives and sharing our story and having you along for the ride. It's good to be with you.
Yeah.
Whether you're evening cruise in Thailand or listening to us during the morning sunrise in India, we see you. All parts of the world. It's really, really cool to see just all of that coming together, and it really is a special feeling that we're reaching a few people. It may not be thousands yet. We want to get there. We're going to keep going. But we appreciate the listeners that we do have.
Absolute facts.
Absolute facts. Continuing on with our very factual podcast that at one point was factual and is still just as factual somehow. I want to talk about the past week. Talk about the past week, man. What do we... let's start with the usual. What do we have on repeat?
You're never going to guess it. But
I swear to God, if it's another artist from Atlanta.
Okay, well, this artist is from a town that starts with A in Georgia. I'm not going to say where it actually is, but okay, it's Atlanta. So the rapper
Oh my God.
So I've been listening to this guy for a hot minute, like a long time. But recently, he's been coming out with more songs, and his name's Jaron Benton. Highly underrated rapper. His lyrics can be a little corny sometimes, but his style, his flow is just out of this world. I've been listening to Jaron Benton since like 2013 or 14, back when his music content was like really immature. It's come a long way, and he's like a well-established and like easily in my top 5 favorite rappers.
Talk about that when you say immature.
So with rap, there's like these stages. Well, I guess certain rappers have stages where it's like you might be like really lyrically talented or like really good with wordplay, but the content is like morbid stuff or the macabre. And I guess some rappers don't leave that behind. But I've noticed a lot of rappers really like to delve into like the sicker or like more mentally ill type of content and then eventually grow out of that. And he's very much an example of that. He even has a song about it that came out recently about how like everyone really likes his old music, but he didn't like it because he got older, and maybe it's because he got older. I don't think it's that he's that explicit about it. But just based off my experiences, it's probably because he got older, and he's like, oh, that's a bit cringe these days. But Jaron Benton, literally all of his music slaps. I created a whole Spotify playlist of songs he's featured in, songs you won't find unless you like week by week have them fed to you because they're on like your related musicians or release radar as Spotify has it. And I just have this massive playlist of like every song that I found that is featuring him. He shows up on like these really, most of the time, really bad rapper songs, shows up for like a few bars or just like a short verse and absolutely kills it. And it's just so I enjoy a lot listening to his lyrical wordplay and his flow, which is impeccable.
Do you have a particular song that you would, like you mentioned the one where he was kind of nodding to the past about prior work?
I don't know if that song's called The Old Me. You'll know you're listening to a Jaron Benton song if it starts off with him saying Jaron Benton. Like it's like a Pokemon. You know you're listening to a Squirtle because it says Squirtle. You know you're listening to Jaron Benton because he says Jaron Benton. I guess all rappers do that. I can't think of a rapper who doesn't say their name often.
I've never understood that, but you're right.
Probably really good for SEO, honestly, especially if you say your name in lyrics. That way, anytime someone types up the name of your song, your name comes up. Maybe. I don't know. That's probably not what that came from, of course, because the internet's a recent thing and rap's like double the age of the internet, I think, as far as popularity goes. most of his songs are singles. Like his last album's from 2018, but he's had like 100 songs since then. So it's kind of hard to Disobey is one of the songs I've been listening to a lot recently.
Okay. All right. So, you want to suggest that one then?
Yeah. It's not the song that you were asking about, but it's pretty good. It's featuring Dizzy Wright. I don't know if you know anything about underground rap. Back in the day, there was this rapper, Hobson. He's still around. He still makes music.
I remember Yeah, I like him.
So Hobson had his own record label called Funk Volume, which he was working with another rapper named Swizz and Swizz's like brother, cousin or something.
Okay.
And then Dizzy Wright was signed under Funk Volume, and Jaron Benton was signed under Funk Volume. And Disobey is Jaron Benton and Dizzy Wright after Funk Volume.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to listen to a bunch of Funk Volume in the day. And Jaron Benton is really, I listen to Dizzy Wright sometimes, but Jaron Benton's the one I listen to the most, or the only one I listen to these days. He's just evolved so much as a rapper, and he was always really good, really lyrically, and like talented, with his flow and wordplay and how he rearranges the words to say like seemingly mundane things in just really unique and clever ways. And anyways, highly underrated rapper. If you're not hip to Jaron Benton, like, are you even listening to hip hop? I don't know. Anyways, that's what I've been listening to Jaron Benton on repeat for like the last decade, so this week as well.
One of the things that I really like about this segment is that you're very much a hip hop rap person, and I'm very much a rock hardcore person. And so I feel like most people fall into one of those two categories for the most part. I think there's this weird like third group where people are like, they just like pop music, you know what I mean? Like American Top 40. But I think for the most part, I think most people fall into like one of our two categories. And so they can look forward to this segment knowing that whether they fall on your side of recommendation or mine, there's a takeaway for them, and I really like that.
What I have not been listening to this week, country.
That's going to be our next segment. Yeah. The artist I've been listening to this week is called Bad Omen. They're a little bit on the heavier side, but they still have some melodic vocals to them. Just very, very powerful front vocals. Well produced, well mixed, great stuff. Not necessarily anything that I identify with as far as like subject matter, which I know is very easy to do with rap and hip hop, things like that. But I just genuinely enjoy the music, and the song that I'm going to recommend this week is called Mercy. It's just, man, I have become such a sucker for vocals. Like back in the day, I used to always just sit there and be like, oh, show me the composition. I would obsess over the instrumentals and the composition because I wanted it to be something that I identified with or something that like, man, I'd love to, say that I created something like that. But yeah, being hellbent on composition, like instrumental composition, and now just being so obsessive with how good a vocalist sounds in front of that composition. It's interesting how my, the things that I gravitate towards and have paid attention to over the years have changed. But yeah, Mercy by Bad Omen, check it out. There's actually an album I'd like to recommend too. It's called Finding God Before God Finds Me. That whole record is just, I almost said stupendous. And I basically just did stay
All right, let's just scrap this whole episode. We're done. Thanks for listening. We failed you. Good shit.
Hey Siri, when was the last time stupendous was used in the human history?
A stupendously long time ago.
Oh my gosh, let's get the hell out of this segment. Let's talk about That's Life in the Midwest. Wes?
So, in the Midwest, we've discussed you will be driving. If you're going to be driving, you're probably listening to music, which kind of explains why half of our podcast is about music. And you're probably going to be singing to that music / rapping to that music / I don't know, letting the music become you. So, and I see this all the time, and I don't know if it happens elsewhere, but people will be driving down the road and you'll just catch them at the right moment that they're going hard with a song, and they'll have like their arms raised up, like with their shoulders and elbows out, just like bouncing up and down, like head banging or doing whatever. And that just makes my day. I saw that the other day and I'm like, oh crap, people see me doing that all the time then. If I see people doing that, people see me doing that. And they look absolutely ridiculous. They're having a blast. No one gives a crap. But I listen to hip hop and rap, so what people see is chubby white dude driving down the road, just like going ham on some hip hop. You know, you've seen the hip hop dance if you know what I'm talking about. If you're sitting and you can't dance any other way, you kind of curl your arms up and just bounce.
So you like to make it look like you have a seizure while driving?
Essentially, yeah. Well, all right, so not like the heavy metal headbang seizure. You've seen that too, right? You're just driving down the road, you look over, this dude with the crazy wild hair is just swanging it, listening to like Metallica or whatever. This is the rap version of that.
Swanging it.
You know that Fat Joe song that was popular in like the early 2000s? Don't dance, we just pull up our pants and do the rock away. Yeah. And lean. It's like that. But you can't do shit else because you're in a car. You can't like get up and dance. So you're just like maybe moving your hips a bit, but you also got your arms up and you're just rocking them shoulders and elbows. Maybe you're banging your head.
I still feel like you'd get there's some sort of like if a cop saw you do that, you're like endangering traffic, or I don't know, inducing panic. I don't know.
I mean, all right, so it's one sight to see like a dog driving down the road. That's pretty screwed. But I this is akin to that. So like imagine you see like Mac, your golden retriever, just chilling in a car driving past you in an intersection. That's a hell of a sight, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine it's just a normal sunny Tuesday afternoon, and this hoopty comes rolling through the intersection, and the dude driving the car is just freaking dancing while they're driving. It's a funny sight. I don't know. Anyways, I saw that this week, and I realized I also do that, which means people have seen me do that, which is funny.
Isn't it funny how you don't really think about like, oh crap, people see me do this until you've seen someone else doing it?
Right, like, oh crap, that's haha, I see me in that. Just like your mom, I see me in that. Sorry.
Okay, all right.
Your mom. The capital your mom. Not your mom, Kevin. Your mom's a very nice lady. I would never say something so disrespectful.
You know, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what we've learned this week.
I learned Kevin really wants to take a break.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Life Midwest podcast, the only podcast where we talk about each other's moms more than we talk to our moms.
Oh, that's a bad thing, isn't it?
I'm your host, Kevin, alongside Wes.
I'm sorry, Mom.
And that's Wes, as you probably could have guessed. Hey, if you're looking for ways to support us, if we aren't cringy enough for you already as it is, we really do appreciate the reviews you leaving us on our listening platform of your choice that we're on. Get at us at support@thelifemidwest.com for email. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the whole mom thing. But yeah, we've taken a recent, a new direction in recent weeks, and we're really looking for that feedback. We want to know what you like, what you don't like, and there's really only one way to find that out, right, bud?
Yeah. I'm also still hung up on the mom thing. I think we have to do a PSA here.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, your mother is at home right now, waiting for your text, your call, your chat, your video call. Give your mama a call. Say, hey mom, I miss you, love you, you're a good mom. Anyways, back to the show.
Hit your mom up. Hit your mom. There you go. That's the theme this week, folks. Hit your mom up. We don't have any emails or reviews this week to read other than Twitter, which we're not going to do. So eventually one of us is going to get tired of reading the emails from Twitter and actually fix that notification setting.
Yeah, just to be clear, we're not blowing off our Twitter mentions because we don't have any. We're talking about our emails that notify us when our people that follow us and or people we follow do anything on Twitter.
Yeah. We also don't have any new reviews, but we do have those. I think we're up to 4 5-star ratings on iTunes.
That's incredible.
That's lit, man.
That's 25% more than we had last time.
Is it?
I don't know if that's how math works. We had 3. We now have 4. Is that 25% more?
No, I think that's 33% more.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Is it? If we had 3 and we get 1 more, we're getting 1/3 of what we had. So that's 30. Okay, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Math is not okay.
Speaking of math, it's time for what I've learned this week. No, folks, we're not going to be doing a math episode or any sort of math segment, but I do want to talk about the fear of math. Arithmophobia, if you will. I actually don't know if that's recognized as an actual word, but as you all know, I'm a student again. I'm attending DeVry for computer engineering. And I'm taking some of my general studies courses at first, and one of those is algebra. And I found out that I'm not really as bad at algebra as I thought I was.
How bad are you, though?
It's really only when you're mixing in letters. There's many aspects of algebra and math in general that don't involve the letters, and those things I'm good at. It's really when you involve letters and for some reason, man, negative numbers.
That's literally like all of algebra, though. You're dealing with letters and, right? Like polynomials.
Yeah.
Polynomials.
It's just tough because, like, I don't know, when it's like a fraction or decimal or percentage, like, okay, like it's easy. I'm done. I rip through it.
So I think algebra is representative of like graphing, right? So like I guess there's more. I don't know. I took a critical thinking / creative thinking / you suck at math. Here's like the lowest math level class you can take. And when it touched algebra, there wasn't a single equation that didn't have like numbers in it or letters in it.
Yeah, it screws me up, man.
Would it help if they were representative of something? So like XYZ is obviously a graph. Those are coordinates.
Yeah, then it becomes easier.
Do they not give you like a legend for the numbers? Or the letters?
No.
Oh.
At least not in the section of what I'm doing right now. But I'm telling you, I have the coolest math professor in the entire world teaching this class. He's from Philly. He's a musician. He Okay, for my Office fans out there, you watch The Office?
I don't.
Oh, son of a
I
bitch.
watch Parks and Rec.
There's an episode of The Office where Michael Scott, who's played by Stephen Carell, he, for some reason, he role plays or acts like he just got out of jail, and he walks in with this like poorly tied bandana and acting like he's just hard as hell. Honestly, that's what my professor reminds me of, except he's actually cool and actually gets it. And he's quite the meme lord. Like, he just doesn't make me hate math as much as I thought I did. It's pretty sweet. So that's what I learned this week. I am bad at math. I'm just not as bad as I thought I was at math.
And you'll never know if your fears are founded until you jump right in.
In other news this week, we do have. I know last week we talked about the McBagel. Let's call it
Yo, come get your McBagel.
the McBagel.
We got meat on this McBagel. We got cheese on this McBagel. We got whatever you want on this McBagel. It's the McBagel, yo.
The mysterious disappearance of the bagel at McDonald's menu. Where is it? Where has it gone? Is it coming back? I don't know. I talked to all these people and they don't know. Some of the most knowledgeable people in the world who really know a thing or two about bagels, they don't know. They don't know where the bagel went.
You know, it's a dumb question. Obviously, you didn't Google it.
No, I didn't. We're still waiting to hear back from you folks. I just, if your local McDonald's, does it have bagels? I just want to know. I just want to know if your local McDonald's still has bagels or not. Because
This man will drive to your McDonald's to eat the bagels there, I swear.
Not necessarily. I actually never cared for the bagels. I just want to know. Because I know there's a lot of people who are very depressed about them. I'll tell you what's something that McDonald's does have now.
What's that?
They have a new crispy chicken sandwich.
Dude, I swear to God, if Ronald McDonald doesn't show up with a paycheck, like, dude, we talked about them twice already.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row we're talking about McDonald's. The new crispy chicken sandwich that is meant to compete with the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. And folks, I gotta tell you, Wes hasn't tried it yet, but I gotta tell you, it doesn't suck.
Is it responsible for less gay bashing?
Honestly, I think that's why McDonald's did it. I feel like there's a group of people out there who don't want to support Chick-fil-A, which I don't even want to get into that whole thing. But there's a group of people out there who don't want to support Chick-fil-A, but they're like, man, that chicken sandwich is so good. They literally put crack in that or something. So McDonald's goes, well, if you don't hate us, we have one too.
All right, Kevin, I got something for you.
Okay.
All right, so since McDonald's isn't paying us, let's talk about a local place that also isn't paying us, but at least they're local and Midwestern.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Tony Pacco's?
Yes.
Well, they were just like, what, a small little hot dog place?
Yeah.
Well, now they have like fast food chains all over Toledo.
Yeah, I noticed that.
They also have a pretty banging chicken sandwich.
Do they really?
They have a couple different ones. They got the spicy one, the regular one, and they put like some type of white sauce on it, and it smacks. It's good.
Yeah, you would like the white sauce. Hey, tomorrow is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so we're in the middle of Lent here. So Ashley and I can't have meat, but maybe we'll give it a try over the weekend. Because I had no idea they did that.
Are you guys Catholic?
Yeah.
How would you feel about Catholicing my balls? Sorry, you can do whatever you want with that. I just had to get it out.
Folks, it's time now for Massachusetts Man. This is a segment where, everybody spends so much time talking about Florida and Florida men. We wanted to choose a more successful state, a state where I'm from and grew up in and spent the first good portion of my life therein, where we talk about a story that involves a Massachusetts man. This is a pretty juicy one this week from Worcester, Massachusetts.
From where?
Worcester.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
Worcester.
I am just not hearing it right, I guess.
I promise you that's how it's pronounced. The headline reads, Massachusetts man found with 21 debit cards under 13 different names, accused of using stolen identity in multi-state unemployment fraud scheme. Folks, that title's so long, none of the words are freaking capitalized except Massachusetts. A 26-year-old Massachusetts man found over the summer with 20-plus debit cards under more than a dozen different names was arrested last week over claims he used a stolen identity in a multi-state unemployment fraud scheme, authorities said. William Corder, a Leicester man, was arrested last Friday and charged with wire fraud and aggravated identity theft over accusations he used a stolen name to illegally claim jobless benefits from the state of Nevada last year, according to a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office.
What is up with the Massachusetts men doing illegal stuff in Nevada?
You know, I was just going to say that 2 weeks ago we talked about One Punch Man, and that was a Massachusetts man who had been killed by somebody with one punch in Nevada.
Oh, right. The last one was a victim of from Massachusetts in Nevada. This one is from Massachusetts being the perpetrator of a crime.
It's just I get what you're saying though. The link between the two is definitely interesting. While responding to a domestic violence incident on August 18th, prosecutors said police found Corder with 21 prepaid debit cards belonging to 13 different people. Investigators said that they later discovered he had filed an online claim for jobless benefits roughly a month early through the Nevada Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation for jobless benefits. Corder is accused of filing the claim with one of the identities that appeared on the prepaid debit cards using the fraud victim's name and social security number. He's accused of listing the card as the account to receive the benefits. Wow. How do you do there's a difference between doing it one time and doing it so many times before you actually. He didn't even get caught for doing it too many times. There was a domestic violence incident that he was involved in. That's the only reason this guy was caught. Can you believe that? It goes on to say the same day he agreed to surrender $79,600 from his bank account to a federal agent. The funds, officials said, were the proceeds of his fraud scheme. Oh my.
Almost $80,000 in unemployment from just Nevada? That's absurd.
Well, I don't think it's just Nevada, because he was talking about, because it's from 13 different people across. It seemed like it was both Massachusetts and Nevada. It sounds like the stolen identity was somebody from Nevada, though.
Okay.
Like the one they were able to link to the stolen identity was Nevada. Man,
that's crazy.
That is nuts. And we got people out here worried about $1,400.
Nevada authorities marked the claim as fraudulent and did not issue unemployment benefits. Does that mean all that money came from elsewhere? I think he got caught in Nevada.
Yeah. I either that or, yeah, that's not very clear. I don't know. Either way, this dude screwed up. Literally, it seemed like he was on a roll, and then he got into a scuffle. Oh, man, this just goes to show the criminals are just never that smart, because it's just one dumb thing that just gets them completely tripped up, and then they just end up, man, almost 80 grand. That's insane. 80 grand. Wow. I definitely can't give him a shout out. I don't want to make him a part of today's shout outs, because that's like an awful thing to do, because unemployment is supposed to be there for people who need it and like need that help.
We gave a shout out to a dude who like one punch killed someone.
Okay. All right.
Where are we drawing the lines today?
Fine. You're right. We need to, if we're going to be shitty, we at least need to be consistent about being shitty. Wes, I'd like to shout out the Massachusetts man who stole the identities of 13 people and had 21 different debit cards under different names for state unemployment benefits.
Can't believe you shout out that man.
I'd also like to shout out, because we didn't earlier in the show, want to shout out Lenny W. at the $5 Patreon level. Thank you so much for being our first one. We really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, Wes and I were talking, and we actually would love to have Lenny on for a My Friend series episode as sort of our celebration of our first patron.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
if he's into something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a buddy of mine I grew up with, went to high school with, share a lot of different perspectives on, and it would just be great to reconnect with him and just kind of talk about what's been up since he moved out of the Midwest. What is life outside of the Midwest? I don't know, because I don't ever... No, I'm just kidding.
Does he not live in the Midwest anymore?
No, he lives in Washington.
State or D.C.?
State.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a fun place. I've never been there.
Yeah.
they got
good
a
coffee,
volcano.
rains a lot. Yeah. Grunge was born there, you know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, cool things like that. So.
Grunge, my least favorite version of metal.
I don't even consider grunge metal, but that's just for another episode.
Well, okay, rock. It's just so droning.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to the new crispy chicken sandwich at McDonald's. Shout out to my math professor. Wes, you got any?
Yeah. Shout out to Tony Pacos and their crispy chicken sandwich.
That I have to try. I still have to try that.
Yeah. Shout out to Jaron Benton. He go hard. Shout out to the Massachusetts dude who is apparently a pretty good fraud until he gets caught.
Doing something completely different.
Right. Idiot.
Stupid.
And shout out to me Madre, because we did the whole mother PSA thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of your moms, because I bet none of you call your moms.
Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my mom. Give your mom a call. Give your mom a text. Tell her to have a good one.
Have a good one.
And now we're starting to connect episodes. Now we're really building steam here, folks. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. It's Kevin and Wes here, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.